Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the host of The Lockdown. It's Zach Danger and number 12. Okay, welcome back to another episode of The Lockdown.
What up?
I'm your host, Zach Danger.
And I am number 12.
And today is April 25, 2020. It has been almost over a month since we've been quarantined. And I just wanted to check up on you, number 12. How are you doing? How are your stats? How are your HP meters?
Stats are pretty good. I feel my overall energy, I'm probably like, if my max HP is probably like 750, I'm probably at like 550, which is like okay. I don't have any more. I don't have any more potions though. I have to order them from Instacart, so that's a problem. However, I've got how you can be poisoned or whatever.
Yes.
I feel like I've got like some low level poisoning, which is like dinging me 5 HP every 10 seconds.
Right.
So I'm getting that, and then that's hurting me a little bit. But
so it's not a big deal now, but like 30 days from now, you might be at like 100.
I'm going to need more potions, man. I'm going to need more potions, dude. I'm going to have to, and by potions, I mean Molly, of course. And I don't know how we're going to do that. So, how about you, man?
Just to correct your terminology, it's actually elixir you need if you want to get rid of the poison. It's actually...
No wonder.
Potion only recovers your HP. Elixir gets rid of any conditions you have. Anyways, how am I doing? Well, I'm a little distraught right now because I told you this earlier, but I have this like room here. This is my little office that
space room
and I use, and this is where I work out of, and this is where I do the podcast. This is where I do Digital Hack City, which we'll talk about in a second. And I have my little window open. It's my little access to outside. So my window looks out to the courtyard, and like in the bottom is where like my super's backyard is, and I can always hear them having parties and stuff. But I just didn't think anyone had access to, like, there's like a little fire escape over here, but I don't think anybody had access to it. I always thought, the point is, I thought I had privacy this entire last 30 days. And literally, as I was talking to you like 5 minutes ago, I see this couple like reading on the fire escape, which means they can fucking see me. And I've been doing some weird ass shit in here. And when I say weird, I'm not even talking about porn. I'm just like sometimes when I think, I like pace around this room and I like scratch my balls and shit, I'm also making like weird TikTok videos. I'm dancing, dude. I'm like crying in here. Sometimes I sit on the floor. Sometimes I do yoga. Like, I feel so exposed, and I'm gonna fucking go over there after this to fucking 5D and be like, excuse me, I don't know why you didn't fucking tell me this whole time, you fucking creep.
I love that for you, the weird stuff is the jerking off is the start, and it just goes up from there. But then, man, bro, I'm making TikTok videos. Oh fuck! Do you know I'm 30 years old and I'm doing TikTok videos? That is definitely a weird thing. I think it's also funny because I also get self-conscious when I'm doing like little TikTok videos or we've been doing little like online sketches, I guess you could say. And Gina is there and she's like working really hard. Like she's like actually emailing, and I'm just like practicing my moves, I'm just like trying to do the whoa and stuff. And I'm like, man, I hope this goes viral and I hope it gets 100,000 views, but I'm like really embarrassed that my wife is going to see me. I'm like, oh, this is weird. But
that's the truth, man.
I feel you, man. I mean, I feel that we've kind of, we're switching to low gear, I guess, or high gear. I don't know what, lower gear, because we're just going to do once a week, which I think feels right because now we're going into this long-term thing, because who knows where, I feel we're going to get out of the quarantine soon, but then we'll get out into like half, a half life, you know what I'm saying? Halfway there where we can't like really party or anything, but we can do all the shitty things. We can go to work. We can go to work.
Yeah.
And like maybe I guess you can get a haircut, maybe, but you have to wear a mask the whole time, which would be weird, Yeah.
I
don't know.
That is funny. When I was because there's like 4 phases to like recovery. And yeah, you're right. Phase 1 is just like literally like I would like to just skip phase 1. I'll just stay in here. I don't gotta do. It's like literally everything you don't want to do. Like maybe like because they haven't cleaned the streets in a while. All those people aren't working, at least in Brooklyn. So like those people are gonna start working phase 1. It's just like I don't know. It didn't seem very appealing to me. But speaking of sort of slowly recovering and like re-entering society. We were also trying to bring back Hack City a little bit. We've been thinking about it, and just yesterday, April 24th, we had our first digital Hack City show, and a lot of you guys came out. Thank you so much for doing that, and we had like 200 people in the Zoom. It was really, really amazing, and just wanted to sit here and appreciate it for a second before we moved on.
And by appreciate it, I mean I want to reflect on how awesome we are, because it was so good. I mean, it was good, and it really is because of you guys, the people who showed up. Because if you guys don't show up, it's just me and Fumi, and we do this all the time. And as you know, it's very sad. Most of the crying Fumi cuts out, but like here we are. So it was it was great. I was a little nervous if like somebody's going to Zoom bomb us, but like nobody did. We kind of kept a lid on it, and it was like a lot of people. We got some money from. So people are super nice and Venmo'd us some stuff, so we're gonna like pay the comics that, and I think that'll be cool. And it was we've been talking about how is Zoom stand-up kind of the same as stand-up, and it felt pretty good. I felt we had Antreat Tran, we had Julia Shiplett, and we had Osama Siddiqui, and like all three of them had very different feels to their style of stand-up, which is what you want. You want like a stand-up show to have like, you want to have like crazy energy, and sometimes you want to have like thinking energy and like all these different things. So I think it came across. Yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, so I was like a little reluctant. I think we were all reluctant in the beginning because we've just heard so much about Zoom comedy shows. I've done a few; they're fine, but like even at work, where I do comedy, people are like, "Oh, like." Even the stand-up comedians, they're like, "Oh, you can't do Zoom shows, bro. It's terrible." I actually asked someone famous. I'll tell you about this later. I asked somebody famous to drop in. I was like, "Hey, if you want to," and I was like, "Hey, you don't even have to do it. You can just talk to me if you want to, or like we can make it like a little mini podcast kind of thing." Right. He's like, "Oh, I don't do Zoom shows, bros, but thanks for asking."
Oh, so shit.
Right? And it's like, there was no hate there, but it was, but not hate to me, but there's a general like. I'm just saying people be hating on Zoom comedy shows. That's what I'm trying to say. And because of that, I was influenced by that. And I was like, oh, maybe this isn't a good idea. But we did it. And you know what? This, again, in the quarantine, in the apocalypse, there are no rules. You make your own rules.
Baby. Make your own rules.
And so we did our own thing. We had some people turn their mics on so we could hear the laughter, so it didn't feel like we were talking to fucking, nothing, which is often what I do in my head. But like, it was a great energy. I feel like we got laughs, and like, I think people had a really, really fun time. And that, I was not expecting that at all.
I feel that the reason why people say, oh, well, Zoom comedy shows, a lot of them aren't that good. To be fair, most comedy shows are not good, okay? The vast majority of stand-up shows are like weird. They start late. The host is drunk. There's like two people in the audience. One of them is the bartender. Most comedy shows are not good. The comics usually aren't good. Like, I'm guilty of being shitty for a long time and probably being shitty now. And that's really what it is. And I think
it's not Zoom, it's you.
It's not Zoom, it's you. You suck. Have you thought you suck? I think that it's going to be the future. This is one thing I just popped into my mind. I don't know if you heard about this. We're so old because I'm sure everybody who is like below 25 heard about this, but Travis Scott had a concert in Fortnite. Did you hear about this?
In Fortnite?
Yeah, in Fortnite. He had a concert. So so you know what Fortnite is. It is like a big, video game, interactive game thing. And so he had at like and they like publicized it and everything. So like, and they had like 5 of them so that different people around the world could watch it. But at 7 p.m. Eastern time, let's just say, if you logged into the game and were just like in the game map, you were just like hanging out, the whole game map changed and it became like a trippy acid trip kind of like thing, and they had a giant Travis Scott like they animated him like as a little video game. He's like huge, and they don't have like a stage per se. They had this huge I don't know, like almost like space art planet that was floating in the sky in the game, and the whole map was the concert, and they just played it along with the music. And they basically just played a track. They played like 4 or 5 of his tracks, and so it's only like 15 minutes long, but it's just like you think of it almost as like a music video that you could like swim around, walk around, and you could fly in the game. So like different things were happening. So like when the song changed, sometimes you were swimming, and then like he was like kind of floating, and then other times like you were in space and he had a like astronaut outfit on, and then other times he was like in the main map, which is like kind of like a big city, and he's like stomping around, and you can like run up to him and stuff like that. And like it was really well done. It looked really cool, and I was like, this is how people might experience concerts from now on.
Ooh, but was it live music or he was just playing his tracks?
He was just playing it, but like clearly this was like a very big effort, from them to do all these things. Yeah, he it wasn't like he was rapping into like a microphone or something. But hey, that could be the next thing, I thought maybe this was going to be something kind of like, where you're there and there's like a concert, stage, and there's going to be like a little avatar of him. Yeah. And that would have been fine, but that's like, kind of whatever, right? Like you're essentially just kind of recreating a shitty experience.
Yeah, that's what.
But yeah, it's like whatever. Yeah. But this one is like, he was huge and like was really artistic, and it was like it took full advantage of all the technology in the game, which was really cool. And I was like, we do not have the money of Travis Scott nor Fortnite, so like there's no way we could do like a really cool comedy show where like we're huge and it looks like you're taking shrooms and like listening to our jokes. But like,
dude, are you kidding me? If you and I had the money and did like a Fortnite takeover and try to do stand up, those kids would like shoot us from fucking the ground. They would shoot us and we would die. And Fortnite's like, well, you died, so you can't do the show anymore. I'm like, well, we paid you $1 million, sir.
$1 million. Yeah, but sorry, your HP is too low. He shot you with the crossbow. So it was really cool, and I think I'm curious to see what's going to happen. So just kind of connecting that with the Zoom thing is like, if we don't do Zoom shows, what else can we do? It's like, what else we got? Nothing.
Yeah,
we got TikTok. That's it.
I mean, you bring up a good point, because I know that this feels weird, but is this not what people fucking said about Tinder in like 2010?
True.
They're like, ew, that's so weird. Oh, but now everybody's fucking doing it, So maybe, I mean, do I want to do this forever? No, but like I could see this being like, a supplementary thing to comedy. Like, I can see Zoom open mics just being a thing forever now. Like, obviously there are real ones, but maybe you're working late and you can't make it. You just like sneak into a conference room at work. That would have changed me and your like entire upbringing in comedy if we could just do open mics from our offices, because then I wouldn't have to like leave early and shit like that.
Right, exactly. I think I always think about it as like when the first movies came out, like in the 1920s and shit like that, and it was just like people probably just thought it was like, what is it? This is just like going to see a play, but like on film, like why would I want to do that? So why can't I watch some blackface in reality? Like why do I have to see blackface on the screen? This is not what God intended. So and then like now movies is like this whole other thing. So maybe this is the future or not. Who knows? So
when you said that the Travis Scott was huge in the Fortnite thing, it reminded me of this thing I heard of, what Oculuses are?
Yes.
Okay. So people like are using Oculuses and stuff, just, it's augmented reality, we're quarantined, people are bored, they're using Oculus. Apparently when you buy an Oculus, there's all these video games you can play, but let's be honest, you're going to watch porn, right? You're going to try to watch, but apparently like, they don't have the sizes figured out, so like sometimes the women are like giants. They're like 30 feet tall, and they're like, "Ooh, should I suck your dick?" And you're like, "No, you're gonna eat me."
You're just throwing the Oculus across the room, just like freaking out.
Yeah. Even if you get a big dick, you're like, my dick is not enough for a 30-foot woman. Like you're a giant. Yeah, I can't fucking giant.
I that's the thing with Oculus is that like, have you ever used one?
No.
Or like any VR thing? It's like, it's freaky because your body is like really, like you can easily trick your mind into thinking that, it's somewhere else. Like when you put that on, it does feel very real. Even if you're playing a video game and it's just graphics. Like if you feel like somebody pushes you off a cliff, you feel like you fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's like too real because, like if, I think I read about this, like if somebody stabs you in it, you feel pain. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody, like the monster jumps out and like stabs you with its claws,
Yeah.
people would like freak out because it's like you expect to feel the pain, and then like it's like the Matrix, where all of a sudden you feel like the pain. So I think the Travis Scott thing made it seem so that like it was more like manageable, because you're right. Like if I was an Oculus and like I saw this giant like 800-foot rapper, it would be kind of freaky. It would be like, this is too much, maybe. But instead I can float around. I have my avatar. I can shoot my gun. All these different fun things.
Yeah.
But man, okay. So wait, you heard it first. Stand by for future hack cities featuring a 200-foot tall Fumi Abe.
Yes.
Hey, and just like a tiny Michael. Maybe I'm on your shoulder. Hey. That'd be sick. I would love that.
Yeah.
Quarantine news. This one, we've been hearing a lot of bad news, and this is also bad news, but it's a little bit like more relevant to us, I guess.
Close to home.
So what happened here is the Upright Citizens. I'll just read this title. Upright Citizens Brigade closes New York Theater and Training Center. So Upright Citizens Brigade is like the big comedy school. It's like an improv and comedy school, and theater, and it does all sorts of stuff. And it's like where you go. For a long time, it was like the place to go to get onto SNL. Like you didn't have to go there, but it really, really helped, because a lot of former SNL people started it, and then obviously went on to SNL. And there's probably like 4 schools, in New York City for comedy. And by schools, I mean like, you like literally sign up for a class, and you take the class, and you progress from like level 1 to level 4, and you keep doing that. It's for improv, and they have like, sketch writing and some other things like that. But it UCB used to have this huge theater space in Hell's Kitchen, like kind of like near Midtown, and near Times Square, to be honest with you. And then they also had a classroom center that was also kind of like in the 30s on the west side. And now they're both closed, which is like, I mean, it's all the stuff we've been talking about. Like, all these things about New York are going to be disappearing. And this is like the first one, I wouldn't be surprised if all the other stand-up clubs are going to be gone soon,
Yeah, I mean, this is, so people who don't know, like, this was started by Amy Poehler and her improv troupe back in the day, so like it's a pretty big deal. And sometimes, I don't think she does this anymore, but back in like 2000, I don't know, 10-ish, I remember my friends were taking classes there, and sometimes Amy Poehler would drop by and like teach a class. So like, it's very connected. It's basically like a pipeline to a lot of the TV writing jobs and stuff like that. And I remember when I first started stand-up, like doing a show at UCB was like kind of a big deal. And I remember like, Asian AF is there. That's one of the most popular shows in New York City, and just happens to be like an Asian show, but they sell out every time. And I remember that was a very big deal when that came to New York. Although, side story, that came to New York because fucking me and Brian Park contacted the guy who runs it, and we're like, hey, can we do like a special one-off of Asian AF in New York for New York Comedy Festival, or like it was some like festival that was happening.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And we're like, first we were gonna do it at the Pit, and then we're like, maybe it doesn't work. And then the guy went rogue, and then he was like, you know what, these guys suck. And you know what, I don't blame him, because me and Brian were not helpful. And he was like, actually, you guys are not helpful at all, so I'm just gonna do it on my own. He brought the show over, and now it's popping. So you're welcome.
It's craziness.
You're welcome. I fucking did that shit.
Technically, then this closure is your fault, Fumi. It's not really the coronavirus's fault. It's because you got involved. So yeah, it's a really good show.
They shut down in LA too. It's New York and LA. And,
is it? I didn't know that. I knew that it was.
The whole like organization is shut down, and they said they're still going to do. Let's see. They said they're just going to terminate the lease for the venues, and they're still going to do like. Shows and classes by renting spaces around New York City, because there are a bunch of studios in New York City, so you can do that. But it's going to be operating at a more like slim fashion than it was. Before it was very corporate, but now it's like they don't even have an office anymore, kind of thing. So, I mean, I really don't know. Like now that this is gone, like what are those kids gonna do who are like that kid right now who's in the suburbs of Pennsylvania who's like really good at improv and has his dream to come to New York and do improv? Like I don't know where he's supposed to go now.
Right. What are all of the kids with liberal arts degrees who have trust funds how are they going to express themselves? You know, it's gonna be hard. You know, yeah, I think this might be good though. I mean, I like to think maybe I'm just being optimistic because you know we were just talking about how everything is gonna change, and hey, UCB man, you know. It was very corporate in a lot of ways. Maybe it forgot its roots. You know, it did have its. It had a Me Too scandal for a while. You know, remember that? Remember that shit? There was a Me Too scandal.
Yo, shout out, Aaron Glazer. Shout out.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't think it's. I mean, obviously, it's not going away. But this might. You know, maybe it needs to be lean again and needs to be where. You know, like how the Christians used to have to meet in ancient Rome, like in secret, right, to read the scripture. And now it's UCB, and like they're gonna do like you know, secret handshakes, like yes and you know, and in order to tell each other that I am part of the secret club of UCB, and they have to meet in the back of I don't know, of a bowling alley or something like that. So yeah, it's not going away. So it's just maybe. I mean, to be honest with you, like it kind of, it was a great space, but like you would agree with this, I think. The coolness, the cool, comedy scene was like not around that. Around their school, and you know,
It changed.
It was like, and now it's much more Brooklyn, much more Queens. I mean, you know, it's even more like Staten Island. It's even more New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where a lot of funny stuff is happening, and it for a long time, it was centered around UCB, and now it's kind of moved away from that. And you know, funny people are still going to be funny. You know, people are still going to be on their trust funds and they're still going to want to do these things. And, you know, maybe it's a good thing because then they can have like improv classes all over the place, you know, which would be great. Because then, you know, you don't have to go into the city and, you know, it's very much for a certain kind of person, you know. Maybe they can go out and go, hey man, you know, I'd love to see a UCB in the Bronx, you know, just like have some, you know, those dudes are funny, you know,
those dudes are funny.
Let's get the next day Samiro in a UCB class talking about bodega cats and stuff.
Yeah,
and I think it'd be great.
Remember when X Maya was talking about that? She was like, I just didn't know about improv. I didn't know about all this stuff. And she was like, if I knew, I would have had my packet ready when I was 22, but I didn't. So I didn't have it ready until I was 25 or whatever, you know, or whatever. Yes. She got that job. You're right. I mean, that's interesting because those kids are probably like way funnier than the most advanced UCB kids. So like if you just give them like a format to follow or like a school,
like, right?
Yeah, like hey, just do this, and then like these guys will come watch you. If you give them that, then like it's game over for you bitches. It's game over for you trust fund babies.
Game over for you trust fund babies.
Yes,
get out of the way, Bronx in the house, BX.
And it's also a game over for us because we're privileged little Asian boys. Ooh.
We really are. Hey, where's my trust? Where's my money, daddy?
That's the thing about us is like we're privileged, but we have no money, and it sucks. We have no family money. It sucks. I wish I had people are just like, yeah, like Asian people like, you know, you guys get shit too. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna argue against that, but it's like I don't have a house. My parents don't have a house. Like they don't. When they die, I have to pay for their funeral. I'm gonna lose money when they die, and like that's not the case for a lot of people. You know.
Yeah, that's a really funny idea. You know, that you have all the privilege stuff that you can get called out for on Twitter, but you don't have any of like the good privilege that you can use to like hire lawyers. You know,
yeah,
like, that's really what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Like people can roast me on social media, but you know I don't. Yeah. You know, I still have to pay rent. So.
And also, let's plug our show. Because this is coming out on Monday.
Okay.
In 2 days from now.
Okay,
so
cool.
we're gonna do another Hack City this coming Friday. It's May 1st, 8 o'clock. Just check out our Instagram page and click on the bio link, and there'll be a ticket link there, or just Google Hack City Eventbrite, and then you can RSVP. And you have to RSVP. I mean, it's free, but it just helps me because I send you a link through the Eventbrite app. So please just RSVP. You don't need to. If you want to invite a friend, you don't have to make 2 reservations. You can just make 1 and send the link to your friend when you get it. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys this Friday. And yeah, speaking of, you know, doing Hack City and stuff, we had a very interesting thing from one of our fellow comedian friends, Usama Siddiqui, who was on the show. And he's like a little background on him. He's a host of Mango Bay podcast with Pranav, very funny guy. He's like the Kevin Hart of our stand-up comedy class. He's like the one guy. If I had to put money on one guy or one comedian to make it, all genders included here, he's the guy. I would put my money on him that he would make it. And he loves stand up so much that he was saying
stand-up.
He was saying that it's almost like it's like a medical condition. Like he's going insane that he can't do it. It's really like somebody should get him insurance, really. But
he has a mental illness. He has a stand-up mental illness.
I'm not joking. I'm literally not joking.
He really doesn't. And I mean, to be fair, he's extremely funny and very good at his craft. So.
That's one of the side effects of this effect is you're fucking hilarious. So people don't think you need help, but deep also, down, I know he's crying.
Yeah, he also has herpes. I mean, that's like the other side effect. But that's another thing. So, anyways, he's great.
And he was saying that if things don't open up in New York in a month, his plan is to move to South Korea to do stand up. And if you guys remember from listening to the lockdown, this is something that I kind of thought about when it first went down. I first thought about
moving to Japan.
Which Japan's a mess now, but back then it was fine. Back then it seemed fine, but it probably wasn't fine because they just didn't have any tests. But people were still doing stuff. My mom's friends were going skiing, if you remember from that episode. So I was like, dude, I'm gonna it's not like I'm tied down by any job. Like I can work remotely. Maybe I'll just go to Japan and like try to do stand up. My parents have an apartment that's like an hour away from Tokyo. I could live there. I have enough savings to like buy food. My aunts and uncles are there. Maybe this is the excuse I've been looking for to go. I miss stand up. I don't care if it's once a week. If I can do it in Japan, I'll fucking do it. And obviously, like it didn't happen. But yeah, Usama has a disease, and he said that
he needs a cure. He needs a cure.
Where's the cure? He's in South Korea.
He's in South Korea.
I mean, here's the thing. It's just so funny that like. He made it very dramatic. He's like, yeah, man, like stand up. I'm gonna move to South Korea. I want to fucking move to South Korea for all the other reasons, like because they got their shit together. Dude, can I tell you something? Maria's friend just like flew to South Korea because I think she's like teaching English there or something. She's not a citizen, okay? The second they landed, they give her a goodie bag of like fruits and medicine, and they give her like a $80 Braun thermometer, and then they like make you download a government app, and they check up on her. Again, she's not a Korean citizen. She's just like a regular ass American girl. They check up on her for 2 weeks, make sure she's doing okay, and then and if you need more fruits and shit, they like send you more shit. That's amazing. And this is how they treat people who are not Korean. Okay.
Well, they have to treat you. You think they're treating you nice, but in reality, that government app is like to make sure that Little Miss America doesn't go around spreading all of those diseses.
That's true.
This is the way. Yeah, this is and they're giving you fruits and they're doing all this stuff because as soon as you get sick, they're locking you in the basement. A la
Parasite.
In a la Parasite. So I mean that shit's real. Okay, So. Man, I think Korea is it could be cool. Like you went? Did you do a show out there? I did a show out there.
I've never been to Korea.
Oh, you never been to Korea? Yeah. For good reason, I think. So I haven't. I went out there and it's cool. Like there is a little comedy scene there. I mean tiny. Like it's. Yeah. You probably could know every single person who does stand up there. There's like one legit club. And I mean in the sense that like it's like a it's marketed as a comedy club. There's all sorts of shows, but like there is like one dedicated comedy club, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. It's just funny to me because like there are some funny people out there, but like it's very new. So like everybody's pretty new. There's not like your people are getting better, but like they're still developing. But like Osama going there, it would be like if we sent. It'd be like if LeBron decided to start doing basketball in fucking I don't even know like the Philippines or something. He'd just be dunking on everyone all the time. He would learn Korean probably and just within like a month just be like mad Korean accent. I think it could be cool.
Would you do something like that? Like what do you think about that concept of like moving to a safer country? Like right now you could really probably just go to Korea or Germany. I heard they got their shit together. This is like a month or two. Would you move there to do comedy? Is this a good excuse to go?
What's funny is that long time ago, our parents had the same question about should we move to another country for a better life?
Yeah.
And their shit was, well, we
War.
should do it so that for a war and because, our children will have a better life. But we're like, I can't tell my dick jokes anywhere. Well, maybe I'll go to Korea or Germany, what kind of story that, what if I stay in Korea and then I have kids and stuff and they're, Grandpa, tell us about why you came to Korea.
Your immigration story.
Oh, well, kids, when I first moved here, I had only $15,000 in my Venmo account. And, and I had to scrimp and save for every minute of set time that I got on stage. And that's why I'm still a waiter right now, because I didn't work hard at all.
By the way, you got cash, kid?
Yeah. Now, why are you asking me questions? I asked you here so you could give me money.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It could be interesting. I just feel like there's no real way anywhere you could hide. It's coming everywhere, and I feel you just have to adapt.
I was when he said that, it piqued my interest. I was doing some research and I'm like, is stand-up fucking happening in South Korea? And I couldn't get an answer on that, but I do know that as they open up their country, like they're going to still very heavily enforce social distancing. So do I think that the already super tiny comedy scene is gonna be? And it's just gonna be, it's gonna be non-existent. I imagine for a while. So I don't know that it's gonna be any different than the U.S. I mean, I don't know if he really wants to fucking do it. He should go to fucking Florida or Georgia right now.
I bet that's the move.
That's the move.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's shoot ourselves. Let's shoot ourselves up with some Purell. And swallow a UV light bulb and just head down to Georgia, baby.
Yeah. Let's do a shot of Clorox and me and you, baby.
Yeah,
we'll drive down. We'll drive down. We'll die in New Jersey because of the Clorox. But it's okay.
We'll see you guys soon.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. That was another episode of The Lockdown. This Friday, again, we're doing Hack City, 8 o'clock. Just Google Hack City Eventbrite, RSVP. Come through. It's on Zoom. It's very fun. Also, just follow us on Instagram at Asian Not Asian Pod, and I'm also on there at the Fumi Abe.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Nice Pants Bro. Come check out the show, follow us, and we'll see you soon. Stay safe, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.